Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Garden. And this is your Baseball Week 13 prep episode. I'm your host, Jake Gardner, alongside my co-host, Zach Gardner.
What's up, everybody?
And we come to you screaming freedom like William Wallace on this beautiful 4th of July.
Yes.
Let's get ready for the week. Zach, what are your surprises, bro?
So my surprises. First off, happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you're really enjoying it, relaxing like the good Lord intended.
That's a Lord's holiday.
Our Lord and Savior, George Washington, intended us to...
Jesus loved freedom. My God, he loved it. He loved Eagles.
Hell yeah. So anyways, happy 4th of July. Hope you're enjoying it with your friends, family, having a good old time. And with that, I'll go into my surprises of the week. Started off with a pitcher here for you. So my pitching surprise, Tyler Wells on the Baltimore Orioles. 11 innings pitched, 2 Ws, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, only 1 walk, and 10 Ks, 10 strikeouts. Dude went off over this last week and was very efficient. The strikeouts weren't eye-popping, like 10 Ks and 2 starts. It's about, 5 a game. That's pretty average. But he was just calm and collected, didn't walk anybody, just 1 walk over 2 starts, and just calm and collected out there for his, middle-of-the-road, up-and-coming team, though, this week. And he's looking like he's going to be a piece for them, when they start getting good. Over like next year and years, they're like where the White Sox were like 2 years ago right now. So I think they're going to be a good team here over the next few seasons.
Probably their best pitcher at this point.
Yeah, he's looked really good. So I just thought that was a surprise just because I don't really know that name yet. But maybe that's a name that we will know, in upcoming seasons. He'll be like a big pitcher. And then my hitting surprise, Julio Rodriguez. He's making a lot of people sound very smart now that we're talking about him at the beginning of the season being like a steal and a stud. He's proven a lot of people right, finally. It took a little while. But 39 fantasy points over this last week. 3 dingers, 6 RBIs, 22 total bases. The dude has been going off like people thought he would at the start of the season. It's been a very slow start, like over 2 months of him really slumping and getting used to the big leagues, but... he's definitely arrived, and he is making a name for himself right now. He's doing so good. So, those are my surprises.
Yeah, man,
Jake.
I agree.
What are your surprises, bro?
I'll go hitter first, just since you did a rookie, probably top rookie coming into this year. I got Christopher Morel on the Cubs, second base, third base, outfielder eligibility. He's had 37.5 fantasy points this past week. So... just going off, and basically, besides Suzuki, this guy's like the next bright spot for the Cubs in like a lost season. So
yeah, he's looking great. Looking like they got 2 pieces for the future in Suzuki, and maybe this guy can be something.
Yeah, I don't know how old this guy is. Like maybe he's
27, so he's an older rookie.
Okay. It's still a piece. So it's just nice to see for any team that's. Just like Tyler Wells and Julio, like teams that have been bad, or like you knew were going to be bad. It's nice to see them have some players break out. So, yeah, I mean, this guy is a definite grab for me. He's already we'll talk about him more, but already been grabbed in our competitive league even before the episode. So,
yep.
And then my pitcher is Giolito, just because there could have been some other pitchers I talked about, but I just bought low on this guy before the past 2 starts where he basically had 5 bad starts in a row and he looked like 2018 Gio.
Yeah.
And then I bought low on him. I mean, you still had to pay a price because of his name, but not as much as how high you had to draft him. So it looks like he's back, man. I think 2 quality starts against the Angels and San Francisco. I mean, those are 2 very good hitting teams. ERA down to 4.9, and I think with the team starting to hit, it's going to back him up better, and he's going to keep bringing that down.
And Giolito does this too. He's a great pitcher, but every season's even in his breakout year, in 2019, every season he goes through little slumps. I mean, it doesn't mean that he's like it's not like this is just out of nowhere, and he hasn't hardly lost any velocity on his fastball, so there's really nothing you can point to as to like, oh, he's on the downward trend here, like he lost a mile on his fastball. It's still basically the same. He's just went through a little rough stretch, and I think every pitcher goes through that. And there's still plenty of starts for him to, get those numbers down and look really good at the end of the season. I'm not really too worried, and I never really was. So I would agree, Jake. I think he's on his way to being back.
Yeah, I mean, even when he, like the last 3 games of just negative points and pretty bad play, his velocity was up in those games, like from normal, so it wasn't like he was playing injured or anything, and all the advanced stats guys were saying that he's just been a little unlucky with all the home runs. Usually you don't get lit up like that all the time when you're increasing your velocity. So,
right.
Anyway, yeah, just pat myself on the back, jerk it a little bit to Gio.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, enjoy it.
I've been trying to trade for White Sox guys this whole season, and I think I might have lost the first one when I got Jose Abreu because I gave up Schwartz.
That's okay. I think they're going to be similar by the end of the season. I think they're going to have the same amount of home run numbers. I think
not home runs. No.
I think, dude,
no.
Schwarber can go ice cold, man. He can, just like Abreu can, and they just different times.
They're not going to get the same amount of home runs.
Almost 40 home runs. Yeah, I think they could.
Dude, Abreu's way too far back. He's only got like 8.
Yeah, but Abreu always goes on the July-August tear every season.
He's got 9 home runs. Schwarber's got like 22.
Yeah,
or more.
He'll catch him.
I think they could finish the same in fantasy points. I'm just disagreeing on the home runs because Schwarber's got 23, and I mean, God, he's a beast.
He's looking great, but he can go ice cold, man, for long stretches. So we got to see if he can keep this consistency up, because then
this has been the whole season, dude. He's been keeping it up.
Yeah, but we'll see. I still don't know how much
when I sold him high quotation marks. He was like rank 80, and Abreu was like ice cold to start the season. So I was like, okay, I'm taking a risk, but I'll go for it. And now they've both risen. So Schwarber is ranked. We're in a points league, by the way. Like, we focus points leagues, but Schwarber, what are you ranked, good sir? He is ranked 20. And Abreu is ranked like 44, so he is already close.
I mean, I'm just telling you, that's a good trade, man. You wanted to get a White Sox guy. I think it was a good trade.
I'm just saying, that's the one I could have lost, but I've traded for... Then I traded for Gio, and I think I could win that one if Gio can keep this up.
Yeah, so...
And I was going to grab another White Sox pitcher, but you grabbed him because I didn't have spots, but... Cueto, dude. Great guy to grab. We'll talk about him more later.
Talking about him later, yeah. But let's get into some key pickups, huh?
Yeah, I'll take on hitters here.
All right.
Isaac Paredes? How would you pronounce that, Zach?
I'd say Isaac Paredes nuts.
Oh my God. Anyway.
It's probably Paredes, if I was going to guess.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Okay. He was like a late come up for the Padres just when they had a decent amount of injuries, and he's earned his spot fully in the rotation. He's had it does not show anymore, but his breakout game was similar to the game he had here 2 days ago on July 2nd. So did he have 2 games that day? Okay, he had 2 games that day. 22.5 fantasy points, 4 of 10, 11 total bases, 2 home runs. But his about 3 weeks ago, he had a game just like this, but it was just in one game. It was like 23.5 fantasy points.
Yeah, I remember we talked about him then too.
Yeah, he broke out then, and then it was still a question mark. Okay, is this just like the the one game, but then doing it again 3 weeks later and staying hot the whole time.
Yeah.
He's
And his positional flexibility makes him
first base,
really
second base, third
attractive.
base,
Yeah.
playing middle infield or center field.
Oh, he plays infield too, huh?
Well, with second base, you could play him in that middle infield position.
Yeah, you can play him first, second, third. You can play corner infield, middle infield, any of those spots. Yeah.
Yeah. So up to rank 251 after he didn't even start the season
Ranked.
I don't know. I don't even know if he was. I don't know the exact date he came up, but he was at least there's a month of him not being in the league. So
yeah,
up to rank 250, I thought was pretty impressive. .252 batting average, 13 home runs, 27 RBI, 65% rostered. So this is a higher percent rostered than we normally would talk about. But I just wanted to get it out there as your last
still
chance.
out there in a third of leagues, and he was out there in our league, which I'm surprised because people usually let guys like this slip.
Well, last week, sorry, I put him on I didn't even put him up here in the grabs. So we had a lot of hitters to talk about. I put him on quick hook, but he should have been up higher for sure. I didn't know if he could keep it up, honestly. And then just doing that big 2 games again 2 days ago, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It's a must grab. Until you see a big breakout, this could be a fantasy league winner. So go get Isaac.
Is it kind of a red flag at all that 5 of his home runs came in 2 games of his 13?
I think he's only been up though,
60% of his home runs came in 2 games.
Yeah, but he's only been up so long. That's the thing. If you want to look up the actual date he came up, and then we can kind of do more math.
It was a month ago, if 3.5, 4 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is unbelievable. This is kind of like
it is pretty insane. So.
Yerman Mercedes, 2 years ago.
Last year.
Was it last year? Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of like that. But you hope that this guy can actually last. That's the whole thing, and that the pitchers don't figure him out. Yeah,
I just added him, and I'm pretty happy about it because I feel like I got a pretty stud guy like this kind of middle of the season. You don't normally see guys like this coming up or available. So it's just kind of where the time he started going off. It's a perfect timing. Get a stud in the middle of the season. Hopefully he can keep it up, but if not, he's just an easy drop.
For sure. Next player, Jarren Duran. So we've talked about him when he's been up and down, or we did talk about him last week, but then we knew he couldn't play in the Toronto series because he wasn't vaccinated.
Yes.
But since that series, he said he is going. Basically, he didn't say he's going to get vaccinated, but he said he's going to be available to play in the next Toronto series in it's September or October. So basically, he's going to get vaccinated, and this is a top prospect for Boston. So he's been up and down from AAA to Boston since they're a pretty stacked team, but .333 batting average, 1 home run, 6 RBI, 4 stolen bases, 41% rostered. So you can see how much people value him already, even though he's barely played yet. So it's just a chance for you to get a top talent on your roster. And couldn't go out without talking about him. Garrett Cooper, dude, we keep talking about him week to week because he keeps consistently. It's not like he's going off, but he keeps, his floor is 2-3 fantasy points.
I'm sorry you moved on. I missed my chance to get my little stinger in there about Jarren Duran. But you know what they say about Jarren Duran? He's hungry like the wolf, right?
I'm logging off.
That was it was more of a stretch, but hey, I wanted to. This is why you have me on the podcast, dude, for my little zingers.
Yeah, your kids are gonna hate you. For real.
They already hate me. And they're not even born yet.
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Anyway, back to Coop. Up to rank 135. He's first base outfield eligibility for Miami. He just keeps a solid floor. He keeps getting on base. He's getting 2 fantasy points is around his floor every night. If you go look at the stat sack.
Yep.
So up to rank 135 in a points league, .315 batting average, 5 home runs, 36 RBI, only 43% rostered. I mean, rank 135 is really damn good for how many positions you have on your lineup and hitting, I mean, you're basically grabbing a guy for free who, is the top tier of one of his positions. And just among hitters. I mean, if you have anybody within the top 150, you're doing really well. Like, if your whole lineup is within the top 150, you could probably win your league.
Yes.
Anyway. Next one, Yandy Diaz. First base outfielder eligibility. Had to talk about him because he's barely owned. And he's just been going off just kind of like Cooper. He's up to rank 151. And he's only 10% rostered. So, .283 batting average, 3 home runs, 17 RBI, 1 stolen base. I feel like, especially deep league, like maybe you're not going to grab him in a 10 team yet, but this guy is seeing the ball really well right now, and you could just grab him while he's hot. I think
Nice.
14 team league or deeper, this is a great grab.
Okay.
Right now. I mean, even he's hot right now, so a 10 team you could grab him and stream him. This is just kind of right where Cooper is, so I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy right there, Josh Naylor, first base outfield eligibility. If you remember right, he was hot to begin the year. Then all of Cleveland got COVID, basically. And, the team didn't play for like a week or two. Then he came back, wasn't doing as good. I mean, he was almost 70% rostered at one point. Now he's down to 37. And he looks like he's heating up. I mean, July 2nd, 4 for 8 against the Yankees, 12.5 fantasy points. So, rank 157, .273 batting average, 10 home runs, 42 RBI, 1 stolen base. I think if you need to stream a hitter, this is as good as any, or you need to fill in a roster spot, cover for anybody that's hurt. Could be entering another hot streak here.
Very nice. Very nice.
And then, of course, we try to hit a catcher every time we can if you are in desperate need, and Jonah Heim looks like the guy. I know in ESPN I grabbed him in a league, and he's ranked 7th as a catcher. So you're getting a top 10 catcher right off the bat. Ranked 203 in our points leagues, 2 dingers in the past 2 days, .259 batting average, 12 home runs, 13 RBI, 2 stolen bases, 52% rostered. So if you need to fill in catcher, you want a top 10 catcher, go ahead and grab him. Zach, you want to take on pitchers?
Yes, let's do pitchers. So, starting off pitchers, Tyler Wells, we talked about him, one of my surprises of this week, is up to rank 187. They got a 3.09 ERA, right on the dot, a 1 whip, 50 strikeouts, 38% rostered. This may be your last chance to get him. He's looking calm and collected, looking very studly for the Orioles.
Yes, sir.
Tyler Wells, go scoop him up, baby. And then we got...
Yeah, this is, just real quick, 38% is way too low. I mean, he's about to... Maybe people just don't know about him yet, but he's about to jump up above 50 in the next day.
He's about to pop the frick off.
Yes, sir.
Drew Rasmussen, good first start back, 4.2 innings pitched. Great stats on the year, and he's only 54% rostered. So go check on him, see if he's available. He's on a good team. He's on Tampa Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, this was a 75% owned pitcher before he got hurt, and it's a great. This is your bottom of the bench pitcher. It's a great move.
Yeah, just do a go check and scoop.
And I've heard a lot of complaints. There's been a lot of complaints about the management of Tampa Bay because they won't play any pitchers basically more than 5 innings, even if they're going off.
Unless it's one of the studs like McClanahan. That's the only
Shane, yeah, because Rasmussen and Baz are only getting 5 innings right now, even when they're dominating. So,
yep.
I think you're grabbing these guys knowing they'll get 5 innings, they're going to do really well. And also, I think the second half, since Tampa Bay's big on analytics, they're going to let them play more. They're trying to basically conserve their innings and conserve their arms.
Yeah, because Tampa Bay, everybody goes on about their manager, but they're managed by a computer, so the computer always does them pretty well, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll win you a championship, but I think for the season it's good, but you got to let pitchers pitch in the playoffs.
Yeah, they do.
So as long as they do that, it's good.
Yeah. And then David Peterson, must grab if he's this hot. 43 fantasy points last week and 18 strikeouts. 3.24 ERA on the year, 1.2 whip, 60 strikeouts on the whole season, 38% rostered. Go scoop this guy up if he's available.
I was surprised to see this guy like this low and after this pretty dominant stretch here. So,
Yeah.
I mean, basically, must grab at this point. He just went on the paternity list because he just had a kid, and that's only like he could still make his next start. So I wouldn't be too worried about that.
There you go, guys. David Peterson, go scoop. And then Kyle Hendricks, looking pretty good again. 46 fantasy points his last 2 starts, 13 strikeouts, 41% rostered. He's looking pretty good. I'm still worried about just because he's on the Cubs. I think he's going to have good starts, but I still think he's going to have some shit starts too because they're not a great team.
Yeah, I think it's still a good grab though. I mean, this is like their ace, and he was basically dropped by a lot of people after his bad starts of the year.
Yeah.
But now he's looking like more of his past right now, and I mean, this is a guy drafted in like, 7th, 8th round, and so you're getting all that value in return if he can keep this up. And I think the biggest factor to me was the first start of him starting again, because I think he was actually in the bullpen because of how bad he was doing. But June 24th, the St. Louis game, 7.1 innings pitched with 6 strikeouts. I mean, against St. Louis, which is one of the most potent offenses, I think that kind of showed for me that
you
could definitely grab him.
But that's the trouble with him is you never know when he's going to do good, when he's going to do bad. He's so hot and cold.
He was one of the most consistent pitchers.
Yeah, maybe 3 years ago. But I don't know. I'm a little more hesitant with Hendricks, but it's he's definitely done great the last 2 starts. We'll see if he can keep any of that up at all.
For sure.
JP Sears back up for the Yankees. 0.59 ERA, 0.98 WHIP, 9 strikeouts, only 6% rostered. So definitely go scoop him up. Just great numbers.
This is like every time he's come up, he's just done really well. And I don't know. I don't think anybody's hearing about the news that he came back up already, but looks like he could fill in for at least one more start. So at least he's a stream, and a dominant stream at that with these numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this quick hook. Yeah, that's into pitchers transition here.
Yes.
You still there, dude? Okay.
Stream Johnny Cueto for a 2-start week this week, and the White Sox are heating up. 3.33 ERA. 1.17 whip, 45 strikeouts, 26% rostered. Johnny Cueto, we've been talking about him for multiple weeks now, and he's still very low rostered. He's been pitching great. He's kind of just like the best kept secret in fantasy baseball right now. He's looking like he's getting positive points every time he goes out there. So he's looking resurgent. And he's just looking great. He's really been helping the White Sox, and they've needed him. For
sure.
So yeah, pick him up for the 2-start week this week and see how he does, and maybe you can hold on to him longer or just drop him at the end of the week. We'll see how it goes. Riley Green, still looking really good. 292 batting average, 1 home run, 3 ribbies, 1 stolen base, 54% rostered. So yeah, be on the watch for Riley Green. Then we got Kutch, Andrew McCutchen. He's a good streaming option for dingers. He's been sneaky good the last 2 weeks. He could be a hold in deeper leagues. So McCutchen, if you look at him, he's been doing sneaky good the last 2 weeks. Really good. So, if you believe in him, you could scoop him up and hold him for the time being. But at the very least, he's hitting some dingers lately. So,
Mhm.
and then we got
Oh, yeah.
Kevin. What's that, Jake?
No, go ahead.
And then we got Kevon Biggio. He's getting more playing time lately, and he's going off batting .360 over the last 14 days. He has positional flexibility playing the whole infield, and so that paired with his recent success is making him a great streaming option for the right now. He's doing a little bit of everything. He's getting some dingers. He's hitting some getting some base hits, getting some stolen bases. Scoring some runs. He's doing kind of a bit of everything. He's a really good Swiss Army knife for them right now. And I'm not saying that this is like you got to go get this guy, because he's still very low ranked. Like he had a really bad start to the year and wasn't getting a ton of playing time. He's playing more now, and he's looking pretty good. So this is a guy you can think about if maybe play some matchups with him or something. But he's looking pretty damn decent lately.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got David Peralta hitting fucking dingers lately. Definitely a good streaming option. He's just because he's on a shit team, Arizona. Maybe a hold in a very deep, like 16 team or more league. Go give him a look. Definitely over the last week plus hitting some dingers. So I think he's had five home runs in his last 7 games. I'm pretty sure when I just checked. So. Yeah, he's a dinger machine right now. So, see if you think he can keep up that hot streak he's on. He's really hot right now. And then we'll wrap up watch list quick hook with pitcher Jose Quintana. 2 good starts in a row now. Definitely streamable. 3.4 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. These are like his best numbers since he was on the White Sox here. 67 strikeouts on the year. He's just looking, kind of solid. So, not amazing, not terrible. He's just kind of right in the middle. Definitely makes him a good streaming option. Play some matchups. It looks like it's all working right now for Quintana.
For sure.
And Jake, you want to take us into some deep league stream options?
Yeah, I only have a couple just because we did kind of fill up our hitters and pitching grab this week. Like, we moved a lot of people up higher. So Alex Cobb, we're going to keep talking about him because he's finally looking decent. I mean, he's not dominant yet, but real good start against the White Sox, who we've seen their offenses going off, and he held them to 1 run. So,
nice.
Props to him. 14 fantasy points, 3 strikeouts there. And then the start before, 8 fantasy points, 4 strikeouts. So
Alex Corn Cobb
bringing down his ERA. He's in a great pitching park. We've talked about him as advanced stats, advanced metrics. Like Statcast says, he's supposed to be more like a 2.5 ERA or lower. So
yeah,
this is definitely a deep league grab right now. And then if you can afford to, in the 10 team, you can hold him. But yeah, at least on the watch list.
Hell yeah.
And then Zach Greinke, we talked about same spot last week for a deep league stream option. He came off of injury and got 22 fantasy points, and then this next start he got 18 fantasy points. So kind of looking like his old self. I mean, he'll never quite be what he was, but he is
Mr. Consistent though. Usually,
yeah, he just looks really good. He's bringing his ERA down. So great deep league pitcher to have.
Nice.
And then I just wanted to talk about Moncada. Like, he's got to be on your watch list. I think there's no way this dude can stay this bad. I mean, former top prospect of the league. He's got a .181 batting average right now. I mean, you can't do much worse than this. So he's going to figure it out. And when he does, he's a must-roster player because he's going to be hot, I think, once he does figure out the rest of the season.
I agree.
Beck? Okay.
I'm in agreement, good sir.
For sure. Yeah, let's go into buy low, sell high.
Yeah, Moncada, though, he's been playing bingo out there since he came back. He's been hitting double here, single there. Hasn't hit a dinger yet, but playing a little bingo out there. Mm-hmm. So, looking.
And I was watching. I mean, he's obviously frustrated with himself right now. So I think I watched the whole weekend series, and
yeah,
I don't know. I think He's gonna figure it out, dude. He's got to be working on
Just
it.
talk about a guy that looks the part, man, and you just want to see him put it all together, man, because he has everything he needs to be such a fucking stud,
Hmm.
and he has to put it all together, man. And I think he can do it because we've seen glimpses of it in the past. We did see a whole season of it in 2019
Hmm.
where he was looking like that was maybe where you got a glimpse as to what he could be at his absolute best. And that's a guy you want on your team if he could ever get back to any sort of what he did in 2019.
Yeah.
Every team in the league would want him. And so fantasy or even just actual baseball teams, like anybody would
Mhm.
want that. So if he could just put it all together, that's all we want. White Sox fans want it want him to do so good, like because we've seen it in the past. So just really
Mhm.
hope he can put it all together. That's just me as a White Sox fan. Sorry to ramble on.
For sure.
All right. Moving on to I'll take these. Moving on to buy low. So starting off buy low here, Tariq Skubal. Is it time to hit the panic button, Jake?
Um, I'm a little worried because I thought he was a buy low the past couple weeks just because he had a couple bad starts, just like Giolito. But I thought like they both had the stuff to bounce back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This one against Kansas City is just rubbed me the wrong way. The previous four, like he's played some pretty good teams. But Kansas City, he should not have been roughed up, and I'm a little worried. But this is like definitely you can get him really cheap, so I still want him in buy low. You know,
Yeah, I
I mean, you
agree.
might be able to get this guy for peanuts at this point. Like anybody who's recently going off,
Hmm.
you could go get Scuball, and I think he should improve. This is probably his rough stretch of the year because
Yeah,
he hadn't had one yet.
could be. I also think that what we saw him doing so good was more. I think that was more fool's gold. I think Skubal is going to be a average pitcher. I don't think he's going to be any kind of stud, but that's just me. I'm not a Skubal believer, so I don't know.
Um, well, this isn't average. This is below average play. So if you think he's going to be average, then he's still a buy low. I mean, he's doing horrible
Yeah,
right
he's
now.
probably going to do better than he's been doing, I think. So I guess that would make him still, in my view, a buy low right now, but
Hmm.
still
You
not
just
somebody
buy
that
him, yeah,
he's somebody that I would just let somebody else take.
for sure.
But I think he could definitely do better than he's been doing this last week, for sure. The last 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Moving on here, Matt Chapman, he's ranked 134 right now. It's been kind of an up and down season for him. He has stretches where he's looking like prime Matt Chapman that we've seen over the last few years, hitting dingers, getting on base, doing
Hmm.
kind of everything, walks, stolen bases, doing it all. What do you think, Jake? Is he a buy low right now, or do you think this is just a down year for him?
Well, last year was the real bad year. He's already, I think, a little better this year than last year, and
Yeah, looking a little bit better,
we
yes.
know how good he was previously. So I still think he is a buy low. I'm a little worried because we thought right off the bat, like new team, new environment. Maybe last year was just a 1 year fluke, and then so far this year he's kind of kept going, not like just kind of average.
Yeah,
But
similar to Mankata in a way, almost like the last couple of years, just kind of
well,
struggled to
this guy's
find it
more
again.
dominant.
More
Got it.
dominant, but he's on a similar path. Like he just can't find his can't get back to his like really good play. I don't know what's going on with some of these third basemen lately, but
Yeah, I wouldn't buy too hard. Like buy low, send some offers, but don't give too much because
yeah.
like if you need third base, I think this is definitely the guy to go for a trade for because he should
Hmm.
I think he could be better than 134, but you don't want to give the farm.
Right, which I don't think you'd have to. Just
Hmm.
offer something fair, but not something crazy.
Yeah.
And then Javier Baez, uh, Jake, he's ranked 266. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just automatic buy low. I think he's going to do way better than that, don't you think?
Yeah, he's already been like I guess this week wasn't as good, but a couple weeks ago he finally did find his form a little bit more, and you could see that in his batting average coming up and all his stats coming up a bit. So I think, yeah, if you need a second base or shortstop, definitely a buy low.
Yeah,
God,
absolutely.
I'm trying to think of what I would actually give up for him though, because there's a lot of good shortstops this year. If you really
Yeah.
need second base is the weak position, so that's when it's great to have, I think, Javier.
Hmm.
So if you have basically no second base, then go trade for this guy.
I agree. Baez,
Give
just get
up.
him. He'll finish in the top 100, I believe. So maybe top 150.
Damn, top 100. Whoa.
Maybe top 150.
He believes.
I think that's a little more realistic. Top 150. But yeah, I think Baez is definitely gonna he's gonna be going on a couple tears here for the rest of the season, and I think you'd want him on your team for that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just gonna go on that couple week period where he hits like 10 dingers, and he just looks amazing. So you definitely want him on your team for that, and hopefully you can get him before that happens. But next, moving on, Seiya Suzuki. He's back from injury today, Monday, July 4th. Should breathe some life into the Cubs lineup. Jake, what would you trade for this guy if you wanted to get him on your team?
I think, okay, so I just wanted to add him to this list just because he is coming back from injury and people might not be aware of how good he was to start the season. And then the last, 3 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks before he got hurt, his numbers came down, but he was like 350 batting average.
He was looking amazing.
Tearing the ball up. So I think that's why he's a buy low if you think he could get back to that. And I think he can. He's been hitting 500, like .500 batting average in AAA.
Yep.
So yeah, what would I offer? I would offer any recent guy going off like Isaac Paredes,
yeah.
Paredes, whatever. I would offer him any recent hitter you've grabbed that's hitting a hot streak, like any guy who's overperforming the whole year, Nathaniel Lowe, who's ranked 103, first base. Yeah, if you need an outfielder, trade. I mean, Brendan Donovan is another guy you could trade for him. Because you want to buy low, you don't want to give away too much, but
right.
This guy could have a huge second half. I'm super excited about him. I just don't know how crazy I'd go. See what the other team needs who owns him, and see if he can negotiate it out.
Yes.
But don't trade it. I wouldn't trade anybody in the top 100 right now. Unless you think they really shouldn't be there.
Okay.
But for him to make it back there, I don't know. But yeah, Marcell Ozuna, that'd be a good one. Any kind of power hitter who's hitting a hot streak right now, Franmil Reyes.
Yeah.
Trade one of those guys for him who look good right now. But yeah.
Hell yeah. And then we got Jose Barrios. Been pretty bad, but can have a bounce back second half. He's kind of got he's like a highly touted, pitcher. He's been great in the past. What would you trade to get Jose Barrios, Jake?
God, you could give peanuts for this. In a 10-team ESPN league I'm in, somebody just dropped him, so I just grabbed him and I sat him his last start, just wait for him to bounce back.
Yeah.
But if I was going to trade for him, since people are dropping him, just go for a guy who's had a all-star season who might not keep it up, Martin Perez, Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
I might offer him. I mean, he's doing really well this year, but you could get... I mean, Barrios is supposed to be their ace, right? He's not anymore, but it's probably Manoah or Gossman.
Gossman, Manoah.
But last year he was their ace. I mean, last year was his best year of his career. So
yeah,
I think he could still bounce back and have a good second half. Maybe, any pitcher going off that we talked about, Tyler Wells. I would offer that.
Yeah, that would be a good one. Yeah.
Drew Rasmussen, I'd offer that.
Yeah, there's a couple things, but I don't know. I think maybe Barrios is just getting up there in age. This might be the start of his downward spiral. I don't know.
He's only 29. Wait, no.
Yeah, it's old in pitchers. I don't know.
No, pitchers go late now.
Yeah, they can.
He's 28.
Okay, never mind. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been a big Barrios guy, so that's just me.
Yeah. Well, he's down right now, so this is when you get him.
Yeah, you're right.
I never draft him either because he goes through stretches like this usually.
Mm-hmm.
But you could trade for him and have a good second half, I think, because he's had a bad. I mean, 5.72 ERA from a former 3.0 ERA last year. I think
Yeah.
you could get him cheap.
Okay. And then lastly, here wrapping up the buy lows. Eloy Jimenez, he may be back this week. Try and get him if you can because he's gonna mash when he rejoins the team. What do you think you could give up? Not much for Eloy, right, Jake?
Yeah, because he didn't start the year great. I mean, he didn't really get a chance to warm up, and then, I think in his frustration, he ran really hard to first base just to, get on base and prove he could. I don't know, man. It just seemed like he was running way crazy, more than he can do, and that might have caused it. But
yeah,
that means you can get him cheap, and I'd offer like a guy as good as even Jeremy Pena, like the Houston shortstop, kind of breaking out rookie.
Yep.
I'd offer that.
Okay.
Because that's how good we know how good Eloy can be and mash the ball. I'd offer similar to. I think I kind of profile him similar to Suzuki, but just he has more power. But I'd offer Marcelo Zuna, Franmil Reyes, guys like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think I tend to agree.
How high would you go?
I want to land my team. I'd give up something. I wouldn't go too crazy though. Like I'm not going to give something amazing for Eloy, but I definitely want to try and get him on my team because I think he'll just hit dingers. So that's what he's there for.
That's true. Yeah, you can get him kind of cheap too because just people are going to be worried about re-injury.
Yeah, maybe not in our league that we're in, Jake, because we're in a league with a bunch of White Sox fans, but we'll see.
Yeah. Only reason I got 2 White Sox trades done to get 2 players is because they were Cubs fans, those guys.
Yep.
The other White Sox fans will not trade them.
No, they won't.
Any of their players, so.
Yeah, the White Sox players are like gold with them. They got to hoard them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is probably the most I'll ever have in this league, the 3 guys. And I would have had 4 with Cueto. But
I got him, so that's my 1 White Sox player.
Yeah, there you go.
Moving on to sell highs here. We'll start it off with Isaac Parodies. We've been talking about this episode. Insane,
pretty clear.
Insane bat skills over the last 3 weeks. Can he maintain this? If you're any at all worried about it, this is the time to sell because he's been going off over the last 2 weeks. So 2-3 weeks.
Just since he's been up, but that means he's going to be due for a cold streak.
I just did send over an offer Parodies for Seiya Suzuki, so we'll see if that can go through.
Oh, to Bree?
Yeah. So we'll see what she says.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think something like that.
I think you could package Parodies and Blackman, who we talked about Blackman as a sell high for a while now.
Yeah.
Because he's a 36 year old.
Yep.
Out there going off, and he's in rank 80. I feel like if you package those 2, you could get almost anything. As long as people were willing to listen to a trade.
Yeah, so we'll see. I might do it for a pitcher because I feel like I need a stud pitcher. Because I just lost my ace for most of the season now.
Who?
Bueller. Walker Bueller.
Oh my god, I thought you were going to say Gossman. I was like, what the fuck happened?
No.
Yeah, Bueller should be back though, right?
He will be, in the end of August, early September, when we're...
You just need him for the playoffs. You got to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I feel like I could use a pitching stud right now to carry me. But I don't know who I could trade for, but I'm going to try and figure something out.
Try to go trade for Robbie Ray.
I'm not a Robbie Ray guy.
Dude, he's been the past 5 starts, he's been tearing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to try and get Zach Wheeler back, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when have you ever been in a league where you trade somebody away and then you get them back?
That doesn't happen, so
I don't think that's ever happened. We've been playing in every fantasy sport for 10 years.
Yeah.
I've never seen that happen.
Nope.
You're going to have to go for just another Zach Wheeler profile. That's why I was saying Robbie Ray or somebody
Yeah.
like that. One of our buy lows. I mean, but you don't like Jose and you don't like Scabal, so we'll have to find another one for you.
Yeah, we'll talk more after the podcast. I don't want to bore everybody with our fantasy teams, but yeah, moving on. That's Paredes. You could pack it like Jake was saying, package him with another stud. You could probably get whoever you want. So Paredes has been looking very good. Looks very attractive in trade offers. So, but moving on here, Nick Pivetta. Been doing great over the last month. Maybe you can get you something. What would you do selling high on Nick Pivetta, Jake?
Yeah, he's been over the past month. He's the fourth best or the fourth highest ranked pitcher with points total. So I think this is probably his peak value. I mean, he's definitely a serviceable pitcher if he can't get anything back, but I'd be going for something higher. Depending on your needs, I mean, I would offer him for Suzuki.
Yeah.
I'd offer him for... I think the only buy low I would offer him for is Suzuki, because the other ones, you don't know if he could stay healthy. So that's, and then, like you said, you don't trust the other pitchers. But yeah, I'd be going for some top tier talent. I mean, he's up to rank 80. I'd try to go for a pitcher that's struggling but should finish better than 80. You know what I mean? Like a more proven commodity.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who you could get right now. I mean, because Robbie Ray was like the biggest buy low a month ago, and now he's going off, so you're not going to get him low. But a guy of that profile, for sure. If you need a pitcher, if you need hitters, I like Suzuki as a buy low. I think he's going to be better than Chapman. But, yeah, what do you think? I just think this is a peak value. You just got to try to get something.
Right.
If you can.
Yeah, I'm not the greatest with trades, so I don't know. But to try and get something, evaluate like what you kind of need. Like if you need like a second base, third base,
package him with something for Giolito.
Yeah, or if you want to just get a better upgrade your pitching, just whatever you need. I think you can use Pivetta to get something right now because he's been doing good. But yeah. Moving on here, somebody that can definitely get you something right now, Christian Javier. 38 fantasy points with 13 Ks in one start this week, and then last week, and then this week, his very next start, 37 fantasy points with 14 strikeouts. So he's going off lately. Try and capitalize on that because he's obviously not going to keep that craziness up.
Yeah, up to rank 92 before these two starts, he was like over 200.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Like, he's definitely not going to keep these two starts up, this kind of production, but could he stay in the top 100? Yes, he has the talent. But yeah, this is his peak value. I mean, he's never going to do better than these two starts.
Yeah.
In a row. He does have Kansas City next, but why would they pitch this guy 7 innings against Kansas City? Because the past two starts were both 7 innings. And they're probably like, okay, let's slow down the arm there.
Yeah.
They want him for playoffs. So I'd go for any. I mean, you could get Giolito 1-for-1 right here. No doubt in my mind. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you definitely could do that.
With that quality?
Yeah.
I'd go for the same guys Zach's been bringing up. Robbie Ray. Maybe have to throw something in with that one because he's been doing really good too. And then Zach Wheeler, like package Javier to get Zach Wheeler. Just go for like a true ace where Christian maybe isn't a true ace yet.
Just try and capitalize on that.
Max Scherzer, guys like that.
Yeah.
You're going for top tier talent in pitching or hitting.
Yep. Yeah, Christian Javier, that's wraps him up. And then we'll just, bring this episode to an end here with DJ LeMahieu. Going off the past 2 weeks with 51 fantasy points. He's up to rank 73. So kind of what Jake and I are kind of in agreement on. If you're not sure he can keep this up at his age, maybe try and capitalize right now because he just got himself up to that rank 73 and is looking pretty dang good. So I think he might be able to to get you something right here if you're worried about him maybe not being able to keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, what
Yeah,
would
I
you
like.
package him with to try and get?
It's just another guy that I think peaked his value, just like Pavetta and Javier, because he was before the past 2 weeks, he was basically hovering around 100, and then he would even like kind of have cold streaks, and he would be near like 140. So he's been basically hovering around there. I think that is his actual rank is around 100. He's not like dominant like he used to be. He's not winning the batting title anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would try to get whatever you need, I guess, but it's got to be top tier. Like I was trying to trade him straight up for Robbie Ray, didn't hear back on that one. But yeah, I'm just seeing what I could get for him because he is ranked 73, which I think is the max he'll do. I don't see him breaking past too far past that point, you know?
Yeah.
Just without him hitting like 350 or whatever he did when he was competing with Tim Anderson for the batting title a couple years ago.
Yep.
And he's not a home run guy. I mean, this is the leadoff guy for the Yankees, so he's going to get you positive points a lot, but probably fluctuate around 100. So capitalize, see what you can get. I think he's better. He's probably better than Suzuki, so I wouldn't go straight up for that, you know. But
yeah,
personally, I'm going for like a top tier pitching talent if I could get one.
Okay.
But hitting wise, you just trade for something you actually need. That's not what he plays: first base, second base, third base.
Yes.
So if you need an outfielder, you need to fill in the outfield. Do that.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! All right. Well, does that kind of wrap her?
Yeah, that wraps it up, dude.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you all so much for listening. We really enjoy doing this, and just remember to go give us that like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, how you're listening to us right now. And then hit that notification bell so you can get notified when we drop new episodes. We have a lot in the pipeline right now, so you'll definitely want to be notified when we drop something new. And then while you're at it, go follow us on our social media. We got Facebook, facebook.com/Garden of Sports podcast. We have Instagram, instagram.com/Garden of Sports. And we have Twitter, twitter.com/GOSPod2021. Give us a follow. There's lots of stuff happening over there. It's fucking awesome. And just as always, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you back here next week for a fresh new episode.
Yes, sir. See ya. All right, dude, that was good.
Oh, yeah.